Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. So glad to be here again with you. It's Spiritual Rockstar Podcast Show. We're doing another energy scan show. Energy scanning is the secret to deepening and working with people in the world. And you're going to see the power of energy scanning on display today. And again, I've trained hundreds, if not really thousands of people in various ways, energy scanning. And so you'll love the process. And I just want to let you know, because I'm getting back to doing energy scan training, that, hey, all of you can do this. If you wonder, like, oh my God, Daniel, wow, but everyone can do this. And I do train people to do it. I just want to put that out there. All right. So in a moment, we're going to be talking about Theresa Puckett, and she's going to be sharing about herself. She's got incredible, wonderful, fun, joyful, and amazing energy. She does incredible work with parents, etc. So we're going to bring her on in a moment to do this show, and you're going to want to tune in. Everything that's being shared is actually for you as well. You always find that when people listen to these shows and get in a group tuning into someone where I'm tuning into somebody, right? Everybody's like, hey, I need to hear that too. So we're going to get into it in just a moment. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today. All right. So, Theresa, it's really good to have you here today.
Oh my gosh, Daniel, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, we need more and more parent harmonizers on the planet. I'm glad that you're doing that.
Amen to that.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let people know more about you. Theresa Puckett, T as she loves to be called, so we're going to go with that moving forward, shines in the world as a guide for parents of adolescents, holding space for them. Oh, we need a lot of space as parents of adolescents. I got two of them, they're actually great kids. I know what that feels like. And assisting them to internal harmony so that they can trust themselves and deeply support their children. T came into this work through two, not one, but two dark nights to the soul as a young adult herself, and later as the parent of her own young adolescents. Through relational parents, she loves working with parents in groups as well as privately. For fun, what does she do? She's all about fun, so she's got to share what she does for fun. She loves the movies, and I'm looking at maybe doing that tonight. We'll see. Baking, reading, yin practices, qigong, walking, hiking, digging into early U.S. history. All that fascinating things there. And so, yeah, it's great to have you here, T. And love that you like to go by T. It's fun. And
I have some here right now, in fact.
great, and having some tea right now. So it's all about the tea. Yeah. So T, I would love for you to share, as I always like to have people on this show do, is to go ahead and just share about the kind of work that you do, maybe what brought you into it, so people kind of feel that, everybody likes to hear a little bit about the story and background. You see in the bio a little bit already, but tell us more about it. I know myself, I studied up on, I specialized in teens for about a year or something in my counseling practice, because I had a teen at the time, and I was like, okay, I want to be ready for this teenage stuff everybody talks about. So I appreciate that this work so much. It's very needed. But yeah, tell us about the work you do and why you do it.
Sure. So the work that I do is with the parent. It's not about the parenting. There are a lot of different ways and methods of parenting. And what I have seen is that people will latch onto one and then they'll be like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this positive discipline thing right? Am I doing this positive parenting thing right? And that is, I see that as a barrier to real connection with our kids if we're trying to bring in something external. So I go with the parent and I try to see what kind of struggle is the parent having, but we all have similar struggles, but for different reasons. So I work with the parent on what are their reasons, what is their internal resistance. That's why it's called relational parents instead of relational parenting. I
Mhm.
don't advocate for a specific kind of parenting, although, there are some things that if people are interested in that they're probably not going to be interested in me.
Mhm.
So that's the kind of work that I do, and I do it both with individuals, if that's the way that they would like to work with me, or in groups. And I also have some self-paced things that people can just go out and take a taste.
Mhm.
Um, but the way that I got into it, and it was really a lifetime coming. So I'm just going to back up to how I got into it a few like years ago, like less than 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I had a dark night, and we won't get into details necessarily today, but had a little bit of a dark night in my own parenting journey and just really wrestled with, oh my gosh, if something like really we're at loggerheads, and if something doesn't change here, something very bad is going to happen, and I can't control anything else besides myself. So, what am I prepared to do here? And so that work is what paved the way for me to be able to work with parents, but that was not on my radar. What was on my radar was coaching. I was coaching real estate agents. I was coaching in a relationship program, although, we weren't called coaches, but I was working one on one with people about their intimate relationships. And um, a woman that I was working for basically said to me 3 years ago, she said, well, would you like to be the parenting expert? And I just lit up like I haven't lit up ever professionally. And I was like, yes, parenting, fantastic. And so that's sort of how it got born. Was I was so lit up and realized that it was not about a methodology. It was really about working with parents on their own, working on their own resistance and releasing it so that they could connect more, better, more deeply with their kids.
Yeah, because what it reminds me of is, first of all, I back it up for a second. Like, there's all these ideas about strategy, right? I watched all kind of videos and strategies back in the day, and they show these scenes, kids, and when the parent comes in, they do this, how they show them doing it wrong. It's wrong, they're doing it wrong. Hey, clean up your stuff, do it now or else. Yeah, whatever, I'll get to it. And they come in and they try all these approaches. They show that like this way will work better or whatever, and like all
Yeah.
these ideas and then it's like, and then even the idea, like, and I'm sure you help people with this, but at the same time it's kind of funny to think about, like, "Now let me hear what your situation." All right, in this case, what we do is we're going to go hard discipline. All right, we're really going to get after this kid. All right, now this one needs a spoonful of sugar method. Like, even prescribing all these strategies alone. Because the thing is like, in all relationships, it's a universal truth. It's all a mirror. It's like, okay, what's playing out in front of you? It doesn't. Okay, people are always like, look at, well, it must not apply here. The environment, racial things, political things, whatever it is. Like, oh well, it doesn't have to do with me. What all these crazy people out here are doing, or what's happening out there. Oh, it has nothing to do with me, right? Like,
Right.
okay, you're so-called, teens that are having issues or whatever, however you want to put it, like, or the crazy teens, again, like people might label them, but like, well, okay, what that lives in you somewhere, this is right. It's a mirror. And my sense of your work intuitively, without you saying it directly, is like, you're dealing with that. You're dealing with their overall connection with their spirituality and their overall connection with themselves. And like, with these aspects I'm sensing too. Now you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it's the vibe I'm getting on. Is that true? Or
Oh, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And a lot of it is, they're things that have been passed down generations upon generations as well, right? And we've conditioned ourselves into certain ways of being. It's such a habit that it's unconscious.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, our kids mirror it and we don't like it, and it's in our unconscious, so it rubs us the wrong way. It's a button that gets pushed, and it's very, very interesting. So
Mhm.
all of those things are custom cut for us, right? It's just like you said, it's a mirror.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're going to be talking more and more about how people can learn more about your work too, a little bit later in the show. So
Sure.
right now, what I'd like to do is just kind of shift gears because, we could, we're not doing the full interview sort of thing on this show, but today
Sure.
we want to do this deep dive energy scanning and really let people know you in a different way. That's what I love about this show. It's like really like almost kind of deeper in a way, like really going deeper and taking a look at things, and people
Yeah.
can see like for themselves, like, wow, I got that going on too. And wow, that's a really good insight. And we're all benefit. Even for myself, I'll be like, oh, I'm looking in the mirror right now. I got other things to deal with. So let's talk about where you are right now in terms of your, I would say in your purpose or in your business, all of that kind of all interweaves. So, where are you right now in terms of anything you want to share with me in terms of the number of clients you've been working with lately, or what phase you're in? Are you more startup? Have you been around a while? How developed is the business and all those sorts of things? So tell us a little bit about your business in that
Yeah,
way.
absolutely. So the business has quite evolved from when it started a little over 2 years ago. I was on a trajectory really with one kind of parenting, and I was sort of putting my own veneer on it, and have had a number of mentors through the way, and really have developed in the last less than a year. So 2021, um, three, now four different new programs. So it's been in a big evolution in terms of the offerings and what it's about. I have a lot more clarity. And I would say I'm definitely, though, in terms of capacity, in more of a startup phase. Definitely a lot of I've created the offerings in such a way that there's a lot of spaciousness, and I have grown my capacity to hold. So I'm you know open for business, working with parents, but have a lot more space, I would say.
Mhm. Okay, great, great, great. Um, So do you currently have, so you're working with people primarily one-to-one, or do you have groups as well? Or tell me a little bit about that for your paid offers,
Yeah,
especially.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So I have groups as well. So there are some self-paced things, but I have one group, and there is another. By the time we're live, there will be also another live offering that's going to be happening. We're going to be going to Costa Rica in May. So a couple of different group offerings, but one is very small. That Costa Rica group will be very intimate, and the one with more capacity is the Joyful Parent, and that is a group that meets 3 times a month, and we do group coaching, group Q&A. We're all checking in. We have a Facebook group. We have um, lots of different resources internally as well as externally um, to utilize and things like that. But I like both. I don't know. You're probably getting that idea, Daniel. Like I do like the one-on-one, but I don't want to limit to one-on-one because I think there are people who learn better in
Mhm.
groups, and there are ways that people can mix. People can join the Joyful Parent and then buy some
Mhm.
private coaching as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with the groups, I mean, with this sort of thing, it seemed to be logically, and it would just even logically, it would seem to be a really good thing because you've got that support, right? You have support with each other. I could also see it maybe being a distraction though too. Like, so how do you handle this?
Right,
Where
right,
it
right.
could
I
be
mean,
helpful or it could be the distraction too, right? So
yeah, yeah.
that's pretty interesting that way. But okay, on a business level and your interest, I feel okay. So what I'm getting like on energy on this, I feel like you've got on a one-on-one basis, you have a lot of potency you can bring into it, but you can only work with when you're working most effectively a small number of people on one-to-one. Like I just feel like because your energy is like I'm on it kind of the vibe is what I'm getting. I'm getting that I'm on it vibe. So when you're on it, it's like you're working one-to-one. You're not going to be like, well, I'm here during the session and we'll see you next time, and I'm not going to be even thinking about you in between or whatever. Like, you're going to tend to want to really get you're relational, so you want to really be fairly connected with, or very connected, maybe even so, with the client. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Kind of really all in. And it doesn't always happen to get to be real personal friends with my clients, but sometimes it does. And I just feel like there's certainly a willingness to be all in, like you said, on it. I definitely, you got that right.
Yeah. Right. So that's great. In the group energy, I feel like you get more in that mystery muse energy. You got all the practical, all the other stuff, but I get this mystical mystery muse or whatever. I don't know. Like you're like, ooh, we can, like you feel the energy. What do they call that? Like you're bringing people into there's a term I can't quite spit it out, but like you're bringing them into a group energetic where you're like moving the energy or bringing, you do this in one-to-one too, but you're bringing the collective group shadow into presence, like, hey, this is what's here. And then you're bringing light to it. Okay, what is this really, what's really going on here, kind of thing, unmasking it. And then you're able to say, what really is behind this typically is this sort of thing. And then you can use your knowledge and energetic practices to help people to address these things at a group collective level. So it brings out more of the magician in you rather than the maybe a little bit more like a little bit more tactical may come in the one-to-one and like, okay, like that energy. But where it's a group, it's more like, ooh, a little bit more like that. And it's just another sort of it's super powerful. It's whole other benefits to being supported in that way. Yeah, so it would seem to me, I'm just teasing this out, like, like, I don't know if you include probably maybe a little bit of one-to-one sometimes with the group or not, but like some people say you could do one-to-one in group or whatnot, but the only thing with that is like sometimes people won't share the same things they'll share if they're private.
Right.
So I feel like if you have laser sessions for people that are private here and there in a group, that could
Hmm.
be very, very helpful. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Again, I didn't come into this thinking we're going to do program design today, but I'm just share things as they come through. So
No, I
does that sound
appreciate that.
accurate? What sounds good? What do you have to share from there? Yeah.
I really appreciate that. I think that that's true. Some people won't share as much in a group as personal, but by the same token, if there's somebody who's sharing more, like I know this for myself
Mhm,
because I just was in a group. It
mhm,
closed over the weekend. It was a very short-lived group, but there were a few thousand, mostly women in it on Facebook,
mhm,
and one
mhm,
woman shared this very, very, very personal thing.
mhm,
And only because she did that, I shared a little something with her in the group.
Mm.
And so it
Go
was
both
like,
ways. Yeah,
it
it
goes
goes both
both
ways.
ways, that
Right.
sort of um, catalyst effect, I think sometimes is very powerful. But I appreciate your idea of mixing it, because I think
Mhm.
they can each feed each other, and instead
Right,
of trying to prescribe which way it's going to go,
right.
it might be nice to allow for both and just trust
Yeah,
that whatever is going to happen. I like that.
because the thing is with you being a harmonizer, it's like when they do that, and that's why it would be laser. It's like, okay, we're getting into it. Okay, we're identifying some things. We're getting some insight, maybe some solutions, whatever. But like, but then you could say like, this is amazing. The whole group really does need to know about this. Like, if you would be so brave and be of service to the group to share this too in the group, we could even take it to another level. And then that way you're identifying some of these things that are being held in oh, it's secret. I feel shame around this. I can't share it with others. They'll think I'm horrible, like a horrible person, horrible parent, or whatever. Like, so like is to have some safe space for that as well. So
Yeah.
so anyway, such the vibe I'm getting on it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
terrific.
And then you're wearing that bee shirt today, and my wife too, all with bees everywhere. Kitchen, we got bee stuff everywhere. So, but like is you got that the harmonics, so yeah, so you're weaving energy. It's like you're constantly weaving energy. I see it like almost like knitting, where we're putting these strands together, and it's when we're done, they got this amazing tapestry or something, right? Like literally, you have like a tapestry sort of thing behind you.
I do.
Put
I do.
together.
Daniel, you're amazing. You're like giving language to all of this that I I do, but I never had the language for it. So I appreciate this. Yeah, but weaving energy, I mean that really is. I'm actually, maybe by the time this is released, I will already have rebranded the website, but I'm thinking of the chord as the name of the website, because it's all about high notes and low notes, everything, harmonizing high notes, low notes. The low notes support the high notes. You can't have one without the other.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I love that, weaving the energy.
Right, right. Okay. All right. So great. So yeah, I mean, like most startup people are looking for more people in their programs, and we'll get to that. My first question is, um, well, let's look at a bigger picture first. So where do you want to go with your business? So where do you see it going in the next, people say 5-year, 3-year plans. Most people don't know where they want to go in that amount of time. You might, but like, where do you ultimately want to go with this? Even in the next 6 months or year, like, where do you see it going?
Yeah, I would love to be at capacity. But I also would love to be able to speak more and just expose more parents to the idea that there's no right way that you have to conform to. And really the whole, it's about your energy is the very most important thing, for being a parent and parenting. It's all about your energy. So I would like to increase, as a speaker
Hmm.
to audiences. It doesn't matter, if they're with, whether it's church groups or corporations, right?
Hmm.
I think that the parents that, are attracted to this message, will come if it's put forward in a larger organization. I guess the other piece too that I'm really feeling is I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't really been using it as a strategic way to broadcast the message, to transmit my consciousness and my energy and what I have to say. And I think getting, a bit more strategic about that, and really building that as a platform to to attract the people who need this message, who really resonate with this. Like, you're not wrong. Whatever you're doing is not wrong. But if you're struggling and you keep repeating, then there's something that can be done, and just sharing it, so that more people can hear it. And some people will hear it and that will be enough, and some people will hear it and they'll want to hear more and come into a more intimate container, and that's fantastic. But I think those are
Yeah,
big pieces.
yeah, I'm laughing just on the piece of you are not wrong. Like I just like, because I think about the arguments that parents have with their kids. We've all seen it or been around it, and like, you do this or that because I'm right, I'm the parent, you're wrong, and it's always like, and that's probably how they grew up, right? Their parents like, now you listen to me, I'm right, I'm wrong, and then
Yeah,
each parent says, well, I'm not as bad as my parent was, at least, or whatever. Yeah, like things like that happen too. So it's just
absolutely.
pretty interesting dynamics, but it's all this idea of, what's right, what's wrong, and all this idea. So I love, like, your message is like, you're not wrong, because it starts to put the idea, it plants the idea like nobody's wrong. It just is what it is right now. And, let's take a look at it. I love that approach. So that's very refreshing, because I think a lot of times when people come in, it's like, well, how you doing your parent? Let's see what if you're doing it right or wrong now,
Yeah.
So that's really wonderful that you have that. That's a wonderful approach, is that a whole, like, you're already whole. All right. So let's take a look at that, and then coming from that place. So like holistic parenting or whatever, like, I don't know, like, this is like what comes to me with that.
Yeah,
Cool. Cool.
absolutely.
So you want to increase as a speaker? I think, yeah. I mean, keynotes and stuff like that is my vibe on that.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, I don't, I think, because in the speaking industry, we usually do look at two different types of speakers, like a keynote, or we call it a workshopper. Certainly you could do workshops, but I think when you're out there speaking, it's primarily, maybe first and foremost, at least, keynoting. And that's a great way. Of course, you can, get paid doing that, obviously, and then directly, and then you want to set it up so that, as we always say, the big money and the big impact, often, it's almost always in the back end, and so it's not always, it's about the impact, because we want to remember that, because those of us are heart-centered and spiritual, we're like, well, I don't care about the money, I just want to go do my thing. But all right, to make sure that, a lot of people want to work with you and go further then. So, so we gotta keep that in mind. But so great. So that gives me an idea of the general direction. And then what we could do from there is, maybe I could actually see, I'm just kind of playing and weaving with you during this energy scan show. So what I'm going to do is maybe tune in your energies and your chakras briefly, and really
Great.
kind of see what gems are lying there that, maybe you've heard these things before, maybe you haven't, as it
Mhm.
relates to you, your purpose, your business, and the work that you're doing. But before I do that, I just want to say this, and when we'll do that is, I just keep hearing is to definitely go, higher end on your one-to-one.
Mhm.
So, we don't have to necessarily get into the details unless you wanted to, but like, whatever it is, my sense is it's going to need to be at a much higher level, especially going into the next year. Like, it's got to be, man, like, that's kind of a premium. I usually say high end, like real low high end, the so-called high end is like, like $3,000 or something. Like, it's real low end, high end. But yeah, it depends on what you're doing for the $3,000. I mean, it's one session, it's pretty dang high end, right? So
Right.
so, but it depends. But yeah, certainly, typically at the lower ends are, yeah, 3 up to $5,000. One of the things most people don't understand, and is that, it depends again, but like, generally speaking, a very general speaking terms, a lot of us think like, oh, 3 to 5, wow, okay, that's a jump It's not like in a consumer, the client's perception of 3 versus 5,000 isn't really all that different. It's like, oh, 3, oh, 5, whatever. Okay, it's the same, more or less for most people. So it's one of the things. It's a tip for everybody listening. Just, hey, listen, it's not really. It's study, the studies, the hardcore marketers have shown like, hey, it doesn't really matter in my own experience for all these years. So not that much of a difference. And then you got all different high end, right? You've got up to you got your 10, your 15, your 20, your 25. A lot of people talk about, if you're going to go higher than 5, then you're going to go to 10. And if you're going to go from 10, the next for a lot, again, this is cookie cutter, but like, I believe in resident marketing and all that and pricing, but like usually then you may as well just go to 25 next, once you get to 30 and above, now it's like the feeling of a new category, like, okay,
Yeah.
wow, we're really getting serious now, right? So again, it's all this psychological stuff. So for your work, we want to make sure that you at least at that 5K level is what I'm kind of getting for you. And or if
And
you're
can I
already
ask a
there, then
question,
yeah, might
Daniel?
want to go higher. Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
Just to clarify, and hopefully it'll help some listeners too. When
Yeah,
you
exactly.
say the 5, are you talking about for a package, or for a year, or for a month, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, at least for the packager program, So I don't think it needs to be per month or anything. That's getting that gets into higher and higher end. So for you, I'm kind of getting like, if I'm literally dialing it in, I feel like, okay, double checking it. Now remember, I manifest. You know about human design. I'm manifesting generator with sacral authority. So pay attention. I'm listening to my sacral. Okay,
yeah,
so I'm getting 5K for 8 weeks, for example. Like like something like that. That kind of vibe comes through to me, and
awesome.
because it might be like you're working with them almost every week or every week, but it's like, and if they're like, oh my God, how can I, that's a lot up front or whatever, because then you look at payment plans, it gets kind of to be a lot for some people, maybe. But in that case, you could either just, hey, you all can do whatever you want, is what I always say. Whatever is resonant for you is
Of
what
course.
matters. That's what's going to serve the highest. But if you wanted to, then okay, we'll pull it apart a little bit. Maybe we could do 3 months. Maybe we could, and then maybe you can come up with payment arrangements better or
Mhm.
easier. So then it gives you some flexibility there as well. Okay, so that's just straight up business coaching with me tuning
Great.
in intuitively a bit. Let me go ahead and, the next steps with that would be is to really review, again, like sounds like a big thing you're looking for is like, what is my, branding and theme, making sure that it's really strong and clear, and that it goes into your programs and stuff. But that's a piece I wanted to give to you because it kept screaming at me. Okay, so let's go ahead and leave that be for now. I'm always like, yeah, let's quit everything. Manifest generator, I am faster, more speed. Okay, all right, let's slow down and do the tuning in on the chakras. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, this is beautiful. So again, I get that busy bee energy overall, and then we'll get into chakras here in a moment. But like when I look in the root, it's like you've already experienced like being more frantically busy and like, oh, okay, now this, like that, you've done that. Now, with the grounding that you've done and getting more in your body, you have a root, like, so you got the busy bee energy, but you're more stabilized now. You're not like, running all over the place, okay, we gotta do this now. It's less, it's a lot less now. So that's beautiful. I just want to note that shift. Okay, hold on. Now, I don't know, again, in human design, I'm advertising your human design because you do human design, but like your crown seems open. So
Mhm.
it made me defined or undefined. I'm not into that game, but like, or that business. Okay, it's all good stuff. But like, but what I get is just that you've got this openness. So yeah, the definition, but it maybe comes in the third eye perhaps, but like I get a sense of openness in the crown, more so like a sense of like imagination is huge, like, hey, like, hey, solving the world's problems. I mean, actually, I just don't get why it's such a big deal to other people. I mean, this is easy. I mean, it's not. You get this imagination, creativity that's just like, like totally ingenious and just gets it. Now, on the practical level of it, you can be extraordinarily detailed and practical with certain things, but sometimes your great dreams don't like it seems that way, right? An energetic level, vision level. And then sometimes in certain things you've done in life, boy, you can pull it all together, you do really well with it. But like these bigger things, like, yeah, that's where it's like, man, I couldn't possibly do that by myself. I couldn't possibly really bring all those details and bring a whole big project together. So you'll be looking at these small, relatively smaller scale projects together, and that you could nail those yourself. But for others that have the ability to be these master, like master builder types and everything, like you can definitely like as an additional support in the world, because hey, the relational parenting thing, or whatever it's called exactly, but like parent harmonizing, is right now, but in the future may expand into other areas. Jack Canfield started with things like self-esteem, and I think he was with parents too and stuff. But anyway,
Mhm.
but yeah, everybody starts at one place, and things tend to evolve often anyway, not always. But my point is, you can be that person, like especially with the human design and everything you do, you can really be that high level advisor, not only with that, but that you have solutions and ideas that other people just aren't able to see. So it'll happen with the work you currently do, but you also could do it with big world changing projects as well. You could be a great advisor, helping them see, like, and then helping the people, teams of people getting along better together and all those sorts of things. Team building would be huge. So, if you're called to it, you could really do well financially and bring a lot of impact in this way as well. So now it's great though. This might be it could be, I'm just saying, maybe this could be sort of a building block if you do this for like 3, 5, 10, who knows how many years, but like you start this as a building block. It's like, wow, I could expand, I could do bigger and bigger things, bigger and bigger teams. It's like these organizations, like the people, the so-called people at the top are sort of like the parents, like and it's kind of translated into those things as well. So anyway, so that's some future stuff coming through
That's
in the crown
exciting.
chakra. Yeah, the crown, in the crown chakra, definitely also with the self-doubter, like and also lack and limitation programs. So we come up, definitely something's going to run out eventually. We better stock up, or this kind of energy. Like there's certainly got to be more be done. Like this old programming is there. So it's like that's where the laying on the value so strong comes in, because maybe it's going to run out, and then somebody's going to be let down, or they're going to starve, or like these old programs, these like ancient kind of kind of things. Often it's past lives, but also ancestral, and also even in our even recent ancestry, like our grandparents and stuff. Sometimes they were poor, or they were went through the Great Depression, or things like that. So we got to store up, because there'll be lean times. So we better really lay it on thick right now. So that'll keep you really, hunting sort of mode a lot. But then, you've got a lot of energy, but like anybody else, it can burn out, and like, hey, like this is going to be too much. So, but you've got a huge, strong generating energy, inside your chakras. So, but you've got a really precise intuition through your third eye. You just bang on, like as they say, bang on. You can just know exactly what the answers are. They're precise answers. They're not roundabout answers typically. You are able to connect with a deep mystical energy, and to explain things that are kind of in a tangible way, a bit, that are beyond what most people could put into words. So you do have a talent for that as well. So that's really cool. Throat chakra wise, just to kind of go through them right now. I feel this fearful energy coming through my throat as I go to the throat, like, oh, I don't know, like what do people want to think when I come out of the box and really share? like, like, oh my God, like, I don't know if it's like, let me tune in for a second. Yeah, it's sort of a feeling of it's like excitement, but like, is it going to be too much? And um, like the fear of being judged is just a real sense that I get. Like, it's the fear of being judged. You're no, like, I don't know if growing up this is true, but it's like, you're wrong. You're in timeout now. Like, they're gonna put you in timeout or something. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But like, I just noticed that in your energy, and then anyway, so owning your value. Throat chakra, a lot of times we'll take a look there. That can be really hard for you because you got such that presence is just like, it doesn't matter, we just want to love them and take care of them, be loyal, and it shouldn't be such a money grab. It's just, yeah, as long as I take care of, be relatively comfortable is good enough. And so that's kind of in the power center and the throat. So that's where there can be a lot of evolution, because clearing some of these patterns, because you again, you could have a simple life, much simpler, more embodied life, where things are easier and there's more wealth, and for you and for the people that you serve. So you definitely can bring new resources, new wealth, in various ways to individuals and organizations. You carry that vibration. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, like with the heart chakra. And I know you've done tons of work on yourself, like most people, but in this field. But like, there's pulling in the back of the heart. But it's kind of like, don't forget about us or whatever. So as you try to move forward, there's a sense of, yeah, but don't forget about us, and something about that, like, don't forget where you've come from. Don't forget about us. So that can be, there's something that, there's value in everything, at some level, but so there's going to be a little bit of value in there, but it also can be something that might keep you feeling like, well, we can't go too far out, or might violate the agreements that we've made previously, so with these relationships, and whatnot. So I noticed this in the heart chakra. The power center I just mentioned, it's we only have so much time today to go through each and everything, but yeah, but in the power center, it's a little bit more, you've got both the flow and the willpower. But so it's interesting, because part of you really just, it's really this balancing that you've been really working with, this sense of flow, and then boom, let's go, like, you're really working with that. I really can sense that really strongly. So that's, it's really beautiful. It's quite a mastery path you're on there. And then in the sacral chakra, big creation fast. Like, so when you're clear, once you get clear on an idea, like, okay, it's all happening. Boom, now we're ready to go. So that's that manifesting generator sacral energy. Like, it just boom, it's fast. It's very fast once the moment is right. But the moment's got to be right. You try to willpower it, get it going. Oh, it didn't work again. Oh, it didn't work again. You didn't have that patience that, like I said, a manifesting generator type need, right? Oh, got to be more patient. So I noticed this here. You love to have fun. We talked about that earlier. So lots of creativity, spontaneity, daring, bold, adventurous. So, you're like, hey, I'm not afraid of that. Hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Like, it's all very interesting to you. So not too many things are like totally taboo to you, necessarily. You may not prefer them, but like a lot of things you are interested in, you're like, oh, let's go try that. Hey, it can't hurt to try it once, like that kind of mentality, like that kind of energy, that vibe. So I feel like, that's really cool. And then the root chakra, yeah, there's a little bit of a back and forth there too. Like, hey, I totally want to be here. I want to do, well, wait a minute. Are there greater things than the higher dimensions? Can we hang out there more? And so it's like almost like this back and forth energy. Well, we need to be present here. We need to take care of business. This is important. This is valuable. It feels really good, but maybe not.
Which
So,
chakra was that, Daniel?
and the root
Right.
chakra. Yeah. So anyway, so those are some of the things. So in the business, translating, I did translate some of that directly into your business, but
Yeah.
it's in the instance of your business, it's like, it's really what working with the body and more of the value that you offer in a more embodied, simplistic way, rather than feel like it's got to be so much. And so that's a huge piece of it. And then really being patient enough for the big moments of creation to come when they're ready.
Mm.
And then that breaks that whole next level of growth each time. And so many other things I shared, but I just thought I'd pull out at least a couple points from all that for the
Thank
business. Yeah.
you. That's amazing, Daniel. I mean, I can't wait to listen to it again, but you said so many things that I was like, how do you have my human design chart right in front of you, or do you know, that's amazing, as well as some things that were true, but I hadn't really previously thought of even or was aware
Mhm.
of. So that's fantastic. That's really amazing.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing that. And just, yeah, I mean, and I don't have a human design chart. I'm not doing
I
that.
know you
Just so
don't, but
people
it
know,
was
yeah, he probably has a human design. This
no,
is
no,
all.
no, no. I know you don't because you said manifesting generator, and I'm not a manifesting generator. I'm just a pure generator. But
Oh,
you
okay.
absolutely nailed the whole throat. I mean, you nailed everything, but the you nailed the throat, and the way that you nailed it, it was not a manifesting generator. So that was like scary.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I wasn't. The man, what you the only reason why I said manifesting generator is just because I thought you had told me that, but like that wasn't a tune-in thing. I was more
Yeah.
like this coming to me. But you do have this, you do have that thing that all these dynamics. So we just take out that label and just say generator. Like honestly, like you have all the characteristics I talked about, including that you do have you have sacral strong sacral energy. I could say that on that. You might be emotional authority or something, but like you have some, or which one are you? Yeah, I
I'm
don't have you.
sacral. I'm sacral.
Okay,
Just like
okay,
you said.
give me tell myself a little bit now.
No, no, it's just like you said.
Right, right.
It's
Oh, I had it
affirming what
right.
you said.
Okay, I had it right the first time. Okay, all right. Okay, just double checking. All right. I'm like, I feel a little slightly embarrassed about say call you manifesting generator when you're not.
No,
But anyway, we
no.
got that out of the way now. Okay, cool, cool. All right, so that just goes to show I'm not reading the charts.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, great, great. So yeah, so you really, I think the focus is really claiming your value, getting your you know what you do, but my guess is you don't have your messaging strong enough and your branding strong enough. So that needs to be up leveled, and then just owning that value really strongly,
Mhm.
getting more embodied, being even more present and grounded in your body with everything you're doing, and letting it be even easier than ever before.
Mhm.
Letting go of more of that harried kind of energy that wants to, and letting that relax even more seems to be a key too on an energetic level. And yeah, I mean, this is where the growth in part definitely wants to happen. So, any last thoughts or comments about anything about any of that, T?
I am amazed. And that really was why I even said I'm not a manifesting generator, just because you described like your real words when you were describing and
Right,
reading
right,
were bang on. So it was
right,
clear to me that you didn't have my chart, because if you
right,
did, you would have seen.
right,
I was like,
right.
holy mackerel. So yeah, just thank you. And I receive all of that. It's all true.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. So great. Well, so as we're beginning to wrap up for today, I just want people to know again, this is sort of the way I go about doing when I do a formal consultation with people. It's along the lines, it's probably 80, 90, maybe 80% the same or similar. And we tend to get into numbers more, a little bit more into the numbers and a little more specific on consultations, and it's organized a little bit different too. So, but I'll get into that later, but I just want to let people to know that as we're wrapping up this part of it. But I want people to be able to reach out to you, T, your awesomeness. If they want to check you out, I know you have some things to share with them. Do you want to share that with them now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love for anyone who's listening, if you would like to take your parenting pulse, that is it's a tool that I've designed, and you literally go to yourparentingpulse.com and you can go and you download it, and I email you the interpretation of it, and then you're invited to schedule a clarity call with me, just to help you get to the next level of clarity, regardless of how you scored on it, because you got the score that you needed to get for where you are. So yourparentingpulse.com. And then I would love to invite you to, if you're on Facebook, to join the Relational Parents Facebook group. It's the free community where we encourage and support each other, and I'm there all the time. And there are lots of resources in the Facebook group as well. There will be other things up. I have a website, but I don't want to overwhelm your listeners. So those are probably the two best places.
Nice. Awesome. So we'll put all that into the show notes. And if people have any issues finding the show notes, then just go to yoursacredpurpose.com/blog. And you can find T's episode there on my blog as well. So, okay. All right. Great. So that's all awesome. Everybody definitely check that out. If this is a fit for you to explore such things, if you're a parent or a parent of a teenager or soon to be teenager, or a parent that has a teenager, maybe want to check it out then too, right? So, okay, refer people and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's really awesome. Thank you in advance for doing that. And then again, I do offer consultations on a limited basis. If you want to check that out to get your own energy scan consultation, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com. There's an application there you can fill out to qualify for that. And then there's also a free meditation, Meditate and Make Money meditation. Opens your energy, your chakras up, gets you your guidance for the day, and brings in the vibration that grounds and lands from the higher dimensions here into the 3D for the great results we want on every level. So check that out at yoursacredpurpose.com. Last thing I'll say is I do also energy scans and channeled messages, along with other wisdom I have to share, especially around awakening and sales and all that at Rock Your Sacred Purpose Facebook group. I do that on Mondays at 3 p.m. Central. Rock Your Sacred Purpose Facebook group. All right, so we'll leave it at that with just some last words from you, T. So any last words for the audience today?
I just want to say that I hope to connect with you soon. And I just really want to thank you so much, Daniel. This has been so much fun, way more fun than I could have expected. And I just have a totally new appreciation for your energy scanning. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, T. And thank you for everybody listening in today. As I always say, keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking to hear Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone, goodbye for now. Listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.